gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert Sports Show. I'm your host, Robert. Alright, XFL Week 4. We are cranking them out. We've had some good play, we've had some bad play, we've had some mediocre play. As we look at these teams after 3 weeks, we have one undefeated team, the 3-0 Houston Roughnecks. We have 3 2-1 teams. We have 3 1-2 teams, and we have 1 0-3 team. So we're going to get right to these 4 games. Week 3, win-loss, straight-up picks. I was 3-1. Against the old spread, I was 2-2. Over-under, I was 3-1. Year-to-date, 7-5, straight-up picks, 5-7 against the spread, and 7-5 over-under. First match, we have the third in the West, the Los Angeles Wildcats, 1-2. Versus the third in the East, the 1-2 New York Guardians. The Guardians only scoring an average of 10 points a game. They're not doing so hot. Quarterback play, Josh Johnson is at 61% completion, while Matt McCoy is 52.5%. Guardians are not even getting yardage. They're worse than the league at 670 yards, while the Wildcats have got 865 total yards this year. The Wildcats are favored by a touchdown, 7 points. I got them winning. I got them covering and under on the 40. Next up, we have a battle of 1-2 versus 2-1. The fourth in the West, Seattle Dragons 1-2 versus the first in the East, the St. Louis Battlehawks 2-1. St. Louis held the first home game last week for the Battlehawks. 28,000 strong in the American Center. That place was rocking hard. Hasn't been that much excitement in St. Louis football since the greatest show on turf. With the Rams leaving, the fans won it. Oliver North was in. Not Oliver North. What the hell is his name? Oh, God. Oliver Manning, the commissioner for XFL. Shane McMahon was also in, kind of checking out the St. Louis market. Football can succeed in St. Louis. We all know this. As long as it's a winning team and stuff, as long as the XFL succeeds, it'll succeed in St. Louis. The Battlehawks had a great, they scored over 1,000 yards this year. They are second most total yards available. Jordan Tamu, 75% completion, 102 QB rating for the year. Battlehawks are favored by 12. That's a big number against the Dragons. The Battlehawks are scoring 22 points a game average, giving up 15, where Dragons average is 16, giving up 21. So I got the Battlehawks winning. I got them covering 12 and taking over on 38.5. Then on Sunday, probably the best matchup of the week, we have the first in the West, 3-0 Houston Roughnecks versus the second in the West, 2-1 Dallas Renegades. P.J. Walker leading the Roughnecks with 63.2% completion ratio, 10 touchdowns, 1 interception. The most points scored in the league at 99 for the Roughnecks. The Renegades, the most yardage in the XFL this year, 1,085. Landry Jones, 71.6%. He was out injured for the first part of the season, while Philip Nelson got a 79% completion ratio. So they got 2 quarterback threats there. Roughnecks are favored by 1. Some sites said pick them on this. I think the Roughnecks, P.J. Walker's played a little bit better. Landry Jones, 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. I got Houston winning. I got them covering the 1. I'm taking under on the 50. Next up, we have the second in the East, the DC Defenders at 2-1 versus the 0-3 fourth in the East, Tampa Bay Vipers. Cardell Jones, only 58% completion ratio this year over the Vipers. Taylor Cornelius, 52%. Aaron Murphy, 47%. Quentin Flowers, 53%. The Vipers are going nowhere. They are the worst team in the XFL. I got the Defenders winning, covering the 1 point, and over on the 44.5. So that is going to be week 4 of the XFL here on Robert Sports Show. We will get to week 10, the 2 playoff games by the end of April. So definitely right around the draft time, we'll be having the playoff football for XFL. We'll have the month of May off. Then June starts CFL. The plan is to do all of CFL games this year. And then in the fall, just like last year, just like the last 5 or 6 years, college and pro. So XFL's been fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the games. I know I have. It looks a little different on the kickoffs and some of the other things, but I think it's been good football. It's not been horrible. It's minor league football, straight out. So I love to see how many of these players end up in camp, how many of these players end up making NFL 53-man rosters going forward. Is it going to be the minor league system that the NFL has needed for years? Do we expand the XFL next year, the year after, a couple years? Do we like 8 teams? Do we need to go to 16 teams? What do we do? Eventually, I'm talking 10, 15 years down the road, I could see each XFL team, there being 32 of them, each of them being like a minor league for the NFL team. So maybe, the NFL team has somebody who missed the season with injury. Maybe they go play a couple of games in the XFL to kind of knock the rust off before training camp. Maybe we redo the schedule where it's a little bit longer. Maybe we have bye weeks in there and have it, more bumping up against spring. So maybe we expand it. Maybe we have it go through June. They get July off, or maybe even through May. It's at the end of May. They get July off, and then they start training camp. There's so many different ways you could do it to make it part of the NFL, but it is football. It is a chance for people to celebrate, enjoy, etc. So thanks for watching Robert Sports Show. As always, don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content. If you're a pro wrestling fan, make sure you check out AEW Revolution Preview, WWE Super Showdown Preview. If you're a NASCAR fan, make sure you check out the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series Preview, all right here on the Robert Sports Show.